Last week, one of the tram people came to me and said, "Hey Rusty, can you make something for us?" Sure. For the air brakes of course, this old tram, we need a connection part that on one side has this big one and on the other side the small one. And of course, they do not fit together. Which means that in this big pipe, we need to fit this small pipe connection thing here. I know it's a bit complicated. Complicated? Huh. Hold my lemonade. Now, first of all, what are we talking about here? It is of course a hose for the brake systems of a tram. If this one is the engine, in here there is of course compressor. And when we apply the brakes, it sends air to the brakes of this one and through this kind of hoses to the next one and to the next one. Now there are two types of air brakes we use in our tram system. First of all, the system of two hoses. The big one serve for an air reserve, a pressure reserve. Compressor makes air between 6 and 8 bar depending on what system it is. And it fills the tank of this one and the tank of this one. So air everywhere, but no brakes are applied. It's just reserve. The small one serves as a command. If we push some air from the engine to the brakes of the other ones, it's gonna open a valve and the air reserve, blue one, is gonna apply the brakes. So the yellow one never go directly to the brakes. If now, for example, accidentally, of course, one of these coupling breaks and this rail car disappears. What's gonna happen? Of course, these hoses, both of them, they will also break and air will escape in nature. No pressure anymore. But between the reserve tank and the hoses, there's of course a valve. No pressure more on this side of the valve, which means valve closes and sends automatic the rest of the air to the brakes and the thing stops automatically. Now the engine I'm working on is a little bit a different system. Now it's the same engine I made the gear shifter for and all other parts, and now also this one. It uses only one hose and it is officially the big one, the reserve. What happens? Compressor turns, puts pressure everywhere. If we apply the brakes, we release the pressure and the reserve will apply the brakes. That's the system. The problem is, of course, in one train we have, it is this coupling we need, and in this one we need the other one. So I need to make some kind of connection between these two here. That's all. Now I suppose you understand, because we're working here with brakes, we cannot do whatever we want and just try something and see if it works. But on the other hand, if something fails, the air pressure leaks away, the brakes will apply automatically. So that's a good thing. And we tested it, it works. That's nice. Now, of course, putting these two here together, that's not really possible. And putting a hose between two is also not really possible. This coupling and this one exactly same, but here I have a hose. So in theory, all I have to do is put this one in here. That's not gonna work. And of course I had to think very hard and even harder. But I think I've got a solution. The tram guys told me that I can use all these parts like I want. So this one is good, the hose is in good condition, this clamp here seems in good condition, no problem. So all I have to do is to fix this one in here. Now, what is the plan? Because the original hoses on the tram itself are more or less short, I would like to use this hose plus another one, which means this coupler, of course, I keep. This side, no need, so I will cut the hose here. And then I will find in depot the same hose but smaller with the other coupling, this one, but also in good condition. And cut the same nut that we have here but smaller. Now I can show you because I don't have it yet. And then between two make a part that on this side has this thickness connection thingy here for the big hose, and on the other side this connection thingy here for the small hose. Now it's a little bit complicated to show as is, but that's the idea. I just took a handful of measurements and made a little crude sketch here on my blackboard with the dimensions on it, and I think I have exactly the material I need. But because the Celtic lathe is still taken to make even more spacer bars, I will make this part on the USSR lathe. And because this thing is too big to fit through the spindle of this lathe, first I will cut it to length in my electric slicer, of course. First of all, let there be light. Of course, there's no magic here. It's just a switch. To make this part, I don't need the rear parting tool post thing here. So I think I'm gonna better take it off before I cut myself. And if you're smart, you take it off before installing the part. That's why I do it after. And I think the best cutting tool to make this part is this triangular insert thingy here. Because it's already installed, that's why. Right, first of all, a little bit order of operations here. For the moment, my part is in the chuck and is held on here, which means all this is free. First of all, I'm gonna drill it out. And because my drill bit is too short, I can drill till here. And then after, when I flip it around the other side, I will drill it again. And of course, both holes will not perfectly line up, but it's for air. Nobody will ever see it, and the air will not complain. I can cut the outer diameter 45. The part is in there, is more or less 47, so it will be a quick fix. Of course, this diameter absolutely not important. It's just to clean up and to hold on after. If this diameter is done, I can do this part. For example, the biggest diameter here, 34.5, and then make this little feature here. Once finished, flip around, do the other side, game over. This diameter is now 45, just like I wanted. But here, as you can see, it didn't clean up completely. I hope the camera picks it up. So what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cheat a bit and make it a tiny bit smaller to take out these spots. Because the big hose comes here, this part, 40 millimeter. And then there is 40 millimeter of nothing, and that's exactly where these rust spots are. Gonna take them out. All right, tiny bit here. I will polish it out. So good, so far, whatever. Next step is now to make something that looks more or less like this over a length of 40 millimeter. And to prevent stupid mistakes, like for example cutting too far, I will use my very simple homemade carriage stop. It's a stupid little thing, but it's really handy. I marked here 0. Total length I need 40 millimeter. test. I see here it's 41. What's nice on this stop is that there is a little adjusting bolt. Got it. $22.5. This 22.5 diameter is now, of course, this one. Now I took the big one because on camera see better. The biggest diameter here. And I think I'm gonna first cut this angle here. And the smallest size should be more or less 18. And I think I'm gonna set it at 20 degrees. Looks more or less right. $18. This little portion is now finished and I think it looks good. And now I'm gonna turn down these 22.5 to 20. This surface finish is crap. It needs more feet. And here, half of my part is finished. And I think there's more than enough wall thickness here, even more than in the original one. And in the meanwhile, I also have a hose that should fit in here. And if I push hard, it does, that's good. Right, all that's left to do is to make the other side. And here it is. Of course I didn't video because making this side or making this side is exactly the same. just a little bit different, that's all. I just brought my freshly made part to a local workshop and they will put it together like professionals. But they didn't have the right hose clamps. Of course, you cannot do this with duct tape or whatever. So they have to order the parts and then put it together. But it will not happen this week, and so I cannot show you video of it. But on the other hand, the gear shifter I repaired in last week's video, I managed to bring my phone camera and have some weird camera angles, which means here is some bonus footage.
il va tout seul. Vas-y. C'est nickel ça.
as you could see, it works very well. And we are really happy with the results, which makes a very happy tram conductor, of course. That also means that from now on, I can drive people around without fighting with the gearbox that doesn't want to cooperate. So that's a win.